Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 coming at you with another Transformers video review, and this is definitely not going to be one of those happy reviews, unfortunately. Today we are looking at the Transform Dreamwave Commander, which is a very oversized KO of the magnificent mecha Bumblebee Optimus Prime. And yeah, this is one of those ones where I was super excited for it. I was checking my tracking info every day, waiting for it to show up at the door. It got here, I opened it up, and it was all downhill from there. But as you can see, he is massive. I'm using my tripod fully extended just to get him in the shot. And yeah, he does look nice. Give him that, he looks nice. I got the box here. You can see mine got pretty roughed up during shipping, but we got our QR instructions. We got some artwork there. I had trouble getting his clamshell out because this puncture here was actually holding the plastic in. But yeah, you can see the transformation back here. And then he does come with weapons and light up eyes and yeah, stuff. Anyway, get that big old thing out of the way. And you're probably wondering, hey, where's his hand? Where's his head? Well, there's a reason for that. There's actually several parts here. And the reason I don't have these attached is these are everything that popped off during his transformation. And after a certain point, I just stopped putting them back on. So that's all of that stuff. His head, the ball joint, like moving it around is nice, but because of the way they basically made it like a shaft rather than like a socket, I'm getting my hand out of here. It's a shaft, not a socket, around the ball joint here. So when you wiggle around, it moves up and just pops back out. The head sculpt is nice. I do like it. He does have some pretty bad dead eyes though, but he does have LED eyes and a button here on his head. Issue with that is, so you do have to lift this a little bit up, and then there's a screw to take off, and then you like wiggle it up. Yeah, it's actually a very sensitive button. But the way the LED panel and battery are in there, it's vertical, so it flops around when you're trying to put it back in. It took me an hour to get its head back together, which is annoying. But we'll go ahead and I'm gonna bump into my tripod a lot, just trying to maneuver here, because again, this is all big stuff, but I'm going to come here, put his head back on, and pretty much all of his stuff we're gonna talk about. The hip skirts really just popped off because they have too much colliding with them in his truck mode and the transformation to truck mode. So they're really not that bad, but it's also not great. Get those back on here. And it was only the front skirts, not the back skirts, because they just sit under the truck. They don't really collide or anything. There we go. So we have his crotch piece here, which was just barely glued on with what I can only assume is Elmer's brand Hopes and Dreams, because the lightest touch just popped it right off. But there is a little dab of glue here, so it was glued with something. So there's that. I'm not going to bother putting it back on because it won't stay. It needs to be glued again. Here's his hand. Where is his thumb? Hold on. I'm missing his thumb. There it is. It's on the shelf where I was hiding everything. So unlike the stock of the Magnificent Mecha, he does come standard with articulated hands. And I do like the extra effort they put into the thumb, because it's got a hinge and a ball joint at the base, so you do get quite a nice bit of, I am not even getting this in the shot, There's a nice bit of movement there, and then this is a hinge here, and this is a ball joint. So they actually did put a lot of effort into the hands, and they made them bigger, which is a problem because they barely fit before, and now they're just too big. Also, this one, his left hand is fine, but his right hand is a little, like, it's weird, because, like, in certain positions, the ball joint is tight, because it is a ball joint here, but in other positions, it's floppy and loose. So that's another issue here. Also, as you can see, some of his other joints are loose, and his head feels, maybe it's just because it's so sunken in, but his head does feel a little small to me. And then we have his back panels, one of which is fine, but this one came, as you can see, there are stress marks around the entire rim of that. You can see how much stressing there is on that for those. And I'm going to tell you right now, he's not getting transformed in this review because I did it once and it took me almost 4 hours to do it. So yeah, we're not transforming this guy. It is not happening. I do not have the time nor patience to do that ever again. Honestly, if it were possible for me to return this, I would, but unfortunately, I don't think it's really possible. I ordered him from Shozi, and nothing's like truly broken. He's just very poorly made. And that is entirely on TDW, because I have the Magnificent Mecha. Here's the official, or real MM01. And you can see how much bigger he is. And all the minor issues this guy had are now major headaches on this guy. Nothing fits together. He fights you 100 times more, and he's just too big with too much heft to him. In fact, his waist area actually sags in truck mode and drags along the table because he's so heavy. So there's a lot that they copied the design with none of the quality, just none of it. And it sucks because, like I said, I was really excited for this figure because they are the same people who made this little tidal wave. And yeah, this guy had a couple issues outside of the box, or fresh out of it. But a screwdriver and a little bit of lubricant oil, and he's fine now. I enjoy him. But yeah, there is no fixing this mess. And he fell off the table. He's just, plastic is too thin, parts are too heavy. Here's the Studio Series Bumblebee, or Bumblebee Prime. Let me adjust this a little bit. So you can see absolutely how massive he is. Here's a Bumblebee Megatron, just so you understand like how big he really is. And he's actually, like, I want to say around like $70 cheaper than this guy. But again, it shows the quality is not there on this guy. And it's disappointing because this is an awesome figure and an awesome mold, and I would have loved to have a giant version of it. But yeah, it's a big waste of money. But I will go over some of his features here. We'll go ahead and get all these guys out of the way. Sorry, I'm like literally running around the room trying to find spots for this stuff. It just takes up so much room. So he does come with his axe, which I'm pretty sure this was only in Rise of the Beasts, but he also comes with the sword, which was also from Rise of the Beasts. He does come with his blaster, and this is fine. This thing is fine. It does take, I think it was 2 LL44s, or LR44s, and it just has a button here on the side, and it does have the magazine. The bullet is molded in there, it's not painted, but you know, that's cool. And it just does tab into his hand. So let's go ahead and give him his gun, because basically he's gonna be a big old statue after this. That is what he's doing after we're done here. He does have a slot in his palm for this gun, if I can get it lined up. Come on. Having to try and stretch and do this. There we go. So, finger does actually slide. Oh boy. What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? Okay. Freaked out for a second. The gap filler fell out. I thought a piece of plastic snapped. Okay, how do I get this back in there? Okay, we're just going to go ahead and put this back on here so that I can do it like this. Oh, yep, see, just fell out again. We can just see if we can't get that lined up and back in there. Well, we're not going to worry about that right now. Get his hand back on there. There we go. Alright, there, now he's got his gun. He does come with two little clips here, and these are supposed to be for his arm sword, since he wasn't originally designed to have these. This is just a connector for his wrist. I'm not going to bother with that right now. And so the pre-order bonus was supposed to be one axe and one sword, but a lot of people, myself included, only got the axe. So that's another issue. A lot of people just did not get the full pre-order bonus, so that's another slap in the face of this whole thing. On TFW 2005's forums, a lot of people reported that the tabs that hold his sides onto his ab section either are sheared off or break off. Mine are fine, but they are so tight that I need a tool to pry his abs apart. Otherwise, I cannot get him apart, but I'm never going to transform him again, so it's not really an issue, I suppose. What else is there? These don't like to stay tabbed in. His chest pieces don't like to stay tabbed in. A lot of the panels that fold up into his chest are actually super thin, and I'm worried that if I do try and transform them again, they're going to snap and break, so that's also another reason why I'm not doing it again. Yeah, it sucks, because this is not a cheap piece, and it's a piece of crap. It's a piece of crap, and that's not okay to begin with, but when it's also a very expensive piece of crap that I can't get my money back for, yeah, I'm pissed. I'm not happy about this. I was looking forward to this a lot. It didn't upset me as much as that DNA kit for the Studio Series Prime, but that broke my toy, so, or damaged it at least. So, yeah, this is just a whole bunch of nope, and I'm pretty much just bumping this to the front of the line to get it out there that you should not buy this. Do not waste your money. It's it looks good and it's big, and that's all it has going for it. Again, they copied the design, but none of the quality. That's all I can say. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. Oh yeah, I should mention that he can not really hold these because these just sit in his fingers, which they can't hold its weight. That's another thing. Yeah, but I felt I should get this out there for anyone considering possibly purchasing this, because it's not worth it, and it's a huge disappointment because they had a great design to work with, and all they had to do was pretty much just keep the same quality that the original had, and they did not do that. But that's enough of me ranting. This video's over. This thing sucks. Don't buy it. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.